Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Justine, and today we're going to learn about envelopes and basic stamping on envelopes. So this is a part of a 3-part series that is going to happen weekly. So today it's going to happen, and next Tuesday and the following Tuesday. I'm going to be featuring 4 envelopes today, just very basic stamping techniques today. I wanted to show you the stamps that I go to for envelope stamping. These are all made by Sew Susie Stamps, and she has some for so many different occasions, from baby to just married, save the date, birthday, whatever the case is. And these are 4 cards that I've made previously on my channel that I will link to below in the description, and I'm going to make a coordinating envelope for each of them. So I'm going to take a few envelopes here and just show you kind of my process in creating a very basic standard envelope. For my first envelope, this is also going to be the only one that I'm fully addressing. I'm just going to show you kind of how I go about making an envelope. So I usually start off by tracing in pencil, or sometimes I just do it freehand as well, especially if I'm doing a dark envelope with a white gel pen. I'll just freehand it. So I'm just writing it out in pencil. I'm using Susie's address for the store, for Sew Susie Stamp stores, so it's safe to put on here, at least I hope it is. And I'm going to just go over it with a black fine liner pencil or pen. So this is kind of how I go about making my very standard envelope, kind of for any occasion. I've done more intricate envelopes and things like that, which I will be going into in the next parts of the series, for things like Christmas cards and then the very special occasion, or for that someone who really appreciates the handmade craft of card making, and I know it's not just a waste of time for. So I'm just going over all of my writing here in pencil, and I'm just going to erase the pencil marks, and I'm going to stamp the Happy Mail here using a Sew Susie Stamps ink bite, and I'm going to stamp that in the corner, and it coordinates really, really well with the peacock. So it's tying in the color of the background of this peacock card in with the envelope. That's what I would say is a very basic envelope for me. And sometimes I will even do stamping on the back of the card. For example, the little envelope, the triangle that kind of seals the envelope, I might do some background stamping on there, or I might have used a stencil and did that same stenciling that's on the card on the back of the envelope. Just depends how much effort you want to put into it. Another thing I thought of doing was stamping the actual peacock on the back of the card when it's sealed. Now, you never want to do this until you're actually sealing your card, mainly because it might be hard to line up the envelope again in the exact same way as stamping. So this I'm just doing as a show card, so I'm just going to do this right now. So I'm just using my stamp press, push down on that card, and then you see you have the really pretty peacock on the envelope. Again, a really nice way to coordinate your cards. We spend so much time making our homemade cards, why not spend a little extra time on the envelope as well? For this card here, I made for Sew Susie Stamps as well as one of my design team pieces. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to stamp using a couple of the Sew Susie Stamps ink bites. I'm going to use the same butterflies that I used on the front cover here on the envelope. So on the right side, I'm just going to stamp those butterflies as I did, and then I'm just going to take it and stamp the word Happy Mail in the middle of those 2 butterflies. And this is going to be a really cool card to leave on someone's desk or something like that, something that you don't obviously need to address the full envelope for, or that any sort of stamps are going to take up space. So this is something that you could throw on someone's desk and really make their day. It's quite pretty. And again, it coordinates just so well with the card. You can even go around with your cursive and just make a 3D letter. For this one here, it's a wedding one. Now, these are really awesome because I know a lot of people like to make their own wedding invitations or save the date cards or things like that. So I'm putting a just married one, which might be good for thank you cards, sticking that on the envelope here, and then you can address the envelope to whomever you need to. I just decided to kind of write mom and dad on the front just to show you what it would look like. But again, you could really do it with your thank you cards, have them fully nicely addressed with the stamps and everything like that, and it would look quite pretty. And you can even coordinate, obviously, because Sew Susie Stamps has so many different color inks, you can coordinate with your wedding palette as well. For this one here, it's a Missing You card that I created. It's one of my favorite cards I've ever made. I'm just stamping the word love and addressing it here to my boyfriend, and I'm going to write Linus on the front and some doodle letters. So again, you can practice your handmade lettering. You can make these as intricate or as simple as you want. And again, it's not a necessary thing to do to your cards, but as I said, it's kind of a shame to send a handmade card in the mail that you spent hours on, and then all of a sudden, you know, you actually don't have a really pretty envelope to go with it. I'm just going to redo this one just because I wanted to put a heart and I just epically failed. So as you can see, I can't actually draw. So there we go. So I'm just actually just adding a little bit of a loop here. I'm just going around my cursive here with a second line. This is something that I never really thought would look really all that nice, but I actually really like the way that it turns out. You can make thicker lines or thinner lines. So that finishes up just some basic stamping and basic techniques for my standard envelopes today. I'll see you next week for some more complicated techniques that you could decorate your envelopes with. We're going to use a couple of different types of markers and things like that and really show them off. So I'm just going to show you the last 4 cards again and their coordinating envelopes. Really love the way all of these turned out, and it just adds a little extra something to your card making. I'm going to go through just some extra pictures here at the end. If you want to stay tuned and take a look at that, that would be great. Remember, if you want to see a card tutorial on how to make any of these cards featured in this video, I have them all on my YouTube channel, and I'll link to them below in the video description. All the supplies used are linked to below in the video description or on my blog for the envelopes. Up on the top, you can visit my blog by clicking click here. Over on the right, there's a subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, and on the video, you can see a moving video of one of my last cards that I had made, and you can go ahead and click and watch that if you're interested. Alright, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next week for another envelope tutorial.